I'm Janet Dupree from Engagement Dynamics. On the 14th of August 2020, we launched our unique global Astute Woman events. The 3-hour online function flew by, with deep engagement and short, riveting presentations from an exceptional lineup of speakers. Participants were encouraged and inspired with thought-provoking poetry, performance, art, and music integrated into profound leadership learning conversations. The presentation which follows is a clip from this extraordinary encounter. Nomvula Buthelezi has 15 years private sector corporate experience in human resources, strategic, operational, and tactical delivery of people and business solutions. With the global disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic, Nomvula established Zamashenge Consulting and leverages his skills and expertise in pursuit of her entrepreneurial aspirations. She's a full-stack practitioner with expertise in the full spectrum of HR practice. Whilst she's based in South Africa, Nomvula has worked the Africa portfolio, interacting with labor legislative requirements for Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Swaziland, Mozambique, and Lesotho. I cannot wait to hear this keynote address from Nomvula, which she has entitled Astute Woman.
Good morning, Astute Women. I know you all saw this amazing event being promoted and you were so taken by the name, Astute Woman. I have the sense that you then whipped out your devices and looked it up. Well, that's definitely what I did when I came across the word. So for those of you who didn't, I'd just like to quickly define the word for you. So astute means having or showing an ability to accurately assess situations or people and turn this to one's advantage. I know when I looked it up, I definitely identified with the meaning immediately. I pride myself in having this fine-tuned ability to read people. So I'll tell you a little bit about my daughter, who is a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. And there is a segment in the series where the participants open up their libraries and read one another. When I saw this, I recall thinking that this idea must have been taken out of my head as I was asleep. However, that is what we do as human beings. We read situations, we read people, we speculate, we make up our minds, we assume, and a lot of what we think is informed by perception. So for today, I am going to read a little bit about myself to you. In particular, the chapter on why I am such a fan of women. You can wake me up at any time and play word associations with me, and I get triggered by the word woman. I have so many descriptive words for women, and this keynote is but a taste of what I believe we, the women, are all about. Women in my circles, connections, my peers, colleagues, business associates, collaborators, and co-conspirators know about my obsession about women. There's women in leadership, women entrepreneurs, women as captains of industry, professional women who keep breaking boundaries, women who are royalty in their homes, women who break their backs for the progression of others, in all industries, sectors, and academic affiliations. I'm talking about rebellious women, courageous women, pioneering women, women who quietly go about their varied contributions to the world at large, women in all shapes, forms, sizes, race, and creed, included women, marginalized women, empowered women, all women. When I was crafting this message for all of you, women who have invested their time and put their money where their mouth is, women of action and results, I thought about the themes that you will be confronted with here today, and I wanted to attempt to encapsulate the essence of an astute woman. The themes today are authentic influence, awareness and thinking, adept implementation, affinitive relationships. The story of women is associated with diversity, equity, inclusion, discrimination, microaggressions, marginalization, having a seat at the table, using your voices in the most meaningful way possible, opening the doors for other women, vulnerability versus a show of force amongst our male counterparts, especially in the boardrooms and corridors of the various professional settings we find ourselves in. We have to deal with perception management, and the list is endless. When I think of women, I think of the people who keep this world spinning. We, the women of this world, the women who keep this world at its best. We are the world's best investors, employees, customers, stakeholders. We are influencers and sponsors. We are so much more. We are the critical bottom line. End of story. Women are natural integrators. We are multipliers. We multitask. We're skillful negotiators and the ultimate creators of every economic, social, intellectual, spiritual, religious, cross-cultural, multidimensional, and dynamic system called the world. Think about that for a moment. As women, we understand spoken and unspoken word. We simplify and decode unnecessary complex frameworks. We understand the VUCA world, even before it was defined as a world that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. We understand the dynamics that come with age, ability, gender, culture, class, race, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, politics, and sexuality. We are the first to embrace the changes that come with the rapidly evolving world. While our male counterparts are needing education and change management strategies, we instinctively lead with understanding, we manage personalities, we employ our creativity to help us to successfully navigate dynamic situations, effortlessly and with empathy. When I think of women leaders, I find that we generally achieve better business results when we stop trying to emulate men. While doing my research to pull this Keynote contribution together, I came across an article in my mailbox about a woman called Amber Meyers. I thought to myself, this is definitely synchronicity, it's serendipity, and literally the hand of God that has placed this article in my hands at this very moment. Surely her heavenly mother, the almighty, all-knowing God, looked down on me and smiled on me today. Amber Meyers has the following theory that I will paraphrase, but please do go out and read about her phenomenal body of work after this event. She has shared the following theoretical material in her article that she named Alliances Across Difference, Useful Strategies for building effective relationships across difference. So the first point she talks about is individual identity. At the individual level, she says, no person is like any other. We have a unique fingerprint, personality, and mix of experiences, and so on. At the second level, she talks about universal human identity. At the universal human level, we are all the same. We are all impacted by the same biological and physiological changes. We have the same emotional and spiritual needs. We are social beings by design. And on the third layer, she talks about social group identity. At the level of social group identity, this is where, for example, we talk about age, ability, gender, culture, class, race, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic status. She talks about this being where differentiation happens, where we refer to diversity and uniqueness, and this tends to be the source of where conflict arises. So this prolific theorist sums it all up by stressing that we need to fully understand our diversity dynamics, learn to communicate effectively across our differences, and finally, honor the divinity of those who we share this world with. So this is when I miss the old world, right? Because this would be where I would be asking you to do the following after me. I'd ask you to stand up, look to your left, look to your right, acknowledge the women who are sharing this space with you right now. Pick one woman and look them in the eye, and then I'd ask you to repeat the following after me. I honor the divinity in you. I recognize your power. I embrace the qualities that make you human. I celebrate your beauty, inwardly and outwardly. But because we are in this new technology-driven world, I would like you to look inward today and reflect about all the relationships that you have with other women. Think about which of the women in your sphere of influence would you utter these words to in an authentic way? Which women in your life do you need to raise your level of awareness of and adapt the way in which you think of them, respond to them? What it is about these women that makes you think and feel the way that you do. And if you'd allow me for a second to borrow from the famous mystic and poet Rumi when he said, "Go find yourself first, then you can find me." We need to be able to be adept, and I'll spell that for you. It's A-D-E-P-T. The meaning of this word means being skilled and proficient at something. Exactly what Rumi is suggesting. How much more could we leap and strive to thrive collectively as women if we became skilled and proficient at understanding ourselves first? Because once we know ourselves, we are more likely to understand and know others around us more empathetically. Listen to understand, participating actively, giving of ourselves authentically, and building affinitive relationships with our peers, our colleagues, business partners, and so on and so forth. Some of the principles of being an astute woman and being an astute leader include developing awareness of our strengths, values, and the impact we have on others, developing a vision of service, social impact, and societal transformation, clarifying our personal identity and identifying mechanisms to build our personal credibility and brand, understanding our thinking habits and practicing self-reflexivity to increase personal resilience, leadership impact, and effectiveness, developing complex problem-solving and decision-making approaches, expanding our ability to conceive possibilities, think creatively, and imagine better outcomes, exploring how our strengths impact on the contributions that we make, the courage we need to invest, and how meaningful our initiative and proactivity really is. These principles are as diverse as we all are. They're as dynamic and fluid as our creativity allows us to be. These principles can elevate us from where we are now to where we want to be in the future. A future as imminent as this day. A future as critical as every breath that we take. The future is said to be created by those who live in the present. Be the future now. So, ladies, women, sisters, daughters, wives, mothers, grandmothers, employees, colleagues, business partners, professionals, pioneers, and explorers. There's nothing under the sun that can stop you. You have the skills, you have the ability, you have the capabilities, the knowledge, the drive, the ambition, tenacity, courage, power, resilience, determination, and creativity. The world is yours. This world is ours. May we grab it with both hands, open hearts and inquiring minds. May our curiosity propel us forward. May we look back in awe and pride at our achievements, because we are the world. And in parting, if ever you are in doubt of your power, I need you to remember this. We, the women, are the only ones entrusted with transporting souls into this planet, nurturing those souls, and setting them out into the world. Thank you very much.